Hello and welcome to Center Ice Cardcast, your one-stop podcast shop for all things hockey cards. My name is Eric Andrews, also known in the hobby as Hammerhawks, and I am not joined by my co-host Aaron Goldstein. Instead, joining me from the top is hockey card icon and friend of the show, Dr. Brian Price of President's Choice Trading Cards. Dr. Price, thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing today?
Eric, it's always my pleasure. Doing great. It's a great day.
Great. Glad to hear. So a lot of you guys are probably wondering, why is Aaron not here and Dr. Price is here? Well, that's a great question. And some of you who follow us on Twitter might recall probably about 6 to 8 weeks ago or so that we posted up that I had ordered something from Dr. Price. So today I'll be opening up that package from Dr. Price. I got it yesterday in the mail, and despite it being extremely tough not to open it right away, I managed to save it for the show to do it live with you guys. So just to give a little bit of context for the card, some of you might be aware that I have a really soft spot in my heart for the 2003-04 In the Game Used Signature Series triple memorabilia cards. And over a span of 4 or 5 years, I've managed to put together that full set. You know, definitely one of the biggest accomplishments I've had in the hobby so far. I think that design is just so iconic and just such an amazing looking insert set. You know, and I know, Dr. Price, you feel the same way about those cards as well. Having a special place in my heart for that design, you know, is kind of some of the context for this card, as well as always kind of wanting to do a made-to-order card with Dr. Price. When we had Dr. Price on the show earlier this year, and just having some conversations with him, both during that episode and after the fact, it really just kind of made me want to go for it. And, you know, after some back and forth, we finalized, you know, what was going to happen with the card, and it all came together. And like I said, I got it in the mail yesterday. And just to address this up front, this card is definitely for my personal collection and will never be leaving my collection as long as I'm alive. So just to put that out there. So I'll go ahead and open up the package now.
Wish we had a drum roll of some kind. That would be great. By the way, you made some statements earlier about having that complete set. I find that unbelievable that you've been able to put that set together.
It was tough. There were some cards in there that were so hard.
And it's not always the best cards that are the most difficult to find.
No, the last ones were Bernie Perrant and Matt Sundin, and they weren't like super rare. I just couldn't find them. All right, so I've got the bubble mailer out of the package here. Cut it open. This is like the most nervous I've been opening a package.
Yeah, be careful where you cut it.
In a long time. All right, here we go. Nice packaging job with the holder and with the...
You know what? We just recently changed. We were putting on thick Scotch tape, and I got all kinds of emails back from people saying it's taking me a half hour and I've ruined it. So I think this is called painter's tape.
Yes.
And so we're now using painter's tape for everyone who had that concern originally.
Well done. Yes, that's definitely been a hot button topic in the hobby this year. We actually addressed that a little bit on the podcast a little while ago, but yeah, definitely a pretty polarizing topic among people with packaging.
Well, we switch easily. When we're told there's a better way, we'll usually follow.
Cool. All right, I think we're ready to go here. All right. There it is. Wow. That is so cool.
What's really, really funny, Eric, is that, you know, most of your viewers, their hobby is collecting. And I'm way past, I used to collect. I mean, it's going back, I don't want to age myself, but it's going back a good 60-something years. My hobby now has really become making these cards. And I have just as much fun making them for collectors as you collectors have in collecting them. And this was a lot of fun.
Oh, I can only imagine. Yeah, it's everything I possibly could have dreamed of. Obviously, you guys can't see what I'm holding right now, so I'll explain. Like I mentioned, it's based on the 2003-04 In the Game Used Signature Series triple memorabilia cards. And it is of course, triple memorabilia card with a pad piece, a skate piece, and a stick piece of George Vezina. And to the best of my knowledge, and I'm sure you can answer this and confirm it, Brian, This is one of only 2 triple memorabilia cards for Vesna.
I don't want to confirm it because I don't want to make a mistake.
Okay.
That sounds right, but
Okay.
if not, it's certainly we can count them on one hand. That's the definite.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the reason why, of course, in addition to you just being able to see me open it, but I wanted to have a little bit of a conversation with you about the card and just to help kind of explain the process to listeners. So I guess kind of the first thing, obviously, a card like this is a pretty substantial piece of cardboard. What was your reaction to my request for the card?
Well, the first problem that I had, as you recall when we first started, was the design itself. And the design goes way back. And as far as technology is concerned, naturally it's changed dramatically in the past 18 years. And the type of discs that design was on can't plug into Macs anymore. They're these big 4-prong things with screws on them, and we looked for years and years to find adapters. And in reality, I guess there were ways to send it out to companies that have all that, but we hadn't done that. So I had a design issue. So we had to go to our designer and basically recreate the design. But we had we knew what it looked like, and it was so we had to recreate the design, which was number one. And then number two, we had to recreate new dies because we don't have dies of that size. I could have changed it, but then I couldn't deliver to you the card that you wanted. So we had to get brand new dies. So that both of those took amount of time, and as unfortunately it's a quantity of capital as well.
Mm-hmm.
But once we got past that, then it was just a matter of getting it printed, getting the memorabilia cut. As you noticed on some of the cards, sometimes the die cut is larger than the piece of memorabilia. So we don't like white showing in the backs. We typically put black on there.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our dialogues, you wanted to make sure that didn't happen. We were lucky enough to have a piece that was full size. And then there was a lot of things that went on that you and I talked about that as a collector, there's no way you would understand how we do it in our place. And to us, it was like, yeah, that's the way it's done. But it has changed. We've gone from when we had in the game before we sold it to having suppliers make most of our cards. Now, other than the actual printing, we do everything else ourselves. We do all of our die cutting. We do all of our stamping. We do all of our putting the cards together ourselves. And the only thing we don't do is print. We tried that, and I couldn't get the quality of printer that I wanted. So that's our only outside supplier. So it goes, there's stages that by doing so much yourself, you can speed it up if you want to. That's why, we could come out with a card set if we wanted to within 6 to 8 to 10 weeks versus before, whether it's 6 to 8 to 10 months. Mm-hmm. That's what it was when I had in the game. And then we went slowly, and you had questions each time we took different steps. And as I say, I tried to explain it to you. It's just, to me, it's like, I don't even know how to say it. It just happens automatically. But
yeah,
we talked about, as you saw, some of the proofs have blue lines for the spacer die cuts and red lines for the memo die cuts and concerns about whatever. But it was like I said, this is my hobby, and it was a lot of fun. And the card came out. I think it's great.
Great. It's amazing.
The one thing that people have to know is that there is a die cut in the center, because he also is wearing his dark jersey down in that area. Mm-hmm. So when you look closely, you can't see it. But right. The pieces of memorabilia were great. We really are extremely low on skate and stick. Yeah,
that's interesting that it seems like the pad would almost kind of be more limited, because I feel like I've seen so many of those.
Well, you know what? It's kind of interesting you say that, because the pad had a total inside and a total outside. Mm-hmm. And we always made memorabilia pieces on the pad that were usually half by half. And when you add up the number of half by halves, it comes out to an awful lot. Mm-hmm. The only time that I used larger pieces was actually day one when I made the first set, and those were 1 inch by ½ inch. And after we realized how valuable they were, we decided to start to reduce the size of the individual patches. But so now we're basically at a half, and we've been that way for quite some time. But
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of made to orders that were done even during the in the game days for Vezina, and I don't know why, because if you recall, there was a long list of guys that you could get, and people weren't buying them; they're just getting them as cards that were inserted in packs. And I would have thought that that there would have been more, but there really wasn't that many. And again, I've stopped doing made to orders unless people ask me now. I think we've actually taken it even off of our in our online store, because I just couldn't, fulfill everyone. So when the odd one comes in, if I can do it, I can do it. And we also, which is also interesting, is every time we made a set back in the game day, we would take out a piece of memorabilia, whether it was Vezina or even Cam Neely, whatever it was, we'd take out a piece and we would cut it to fit the card. And then the scraps would go back in this little plastic lunch bag that, the little tiny bags you put sandwiches in, and it would say Cam Neely on it. And if that was in the game used to 2006, it would go into a box that said in the game used. And it would be hundreds of these little bags with what was ever left over of those scraps. When I sold to Leaf bought the memorabilia boxes. They bought all the boxes that had all the rest of the jersey, whatever was left, the rest of the skate, whatever in there. All those other things were all over the warehouse. And we've been finding those ever since. And I think there's still, who knows where, because we've moved twice. So we've just packed up boxes and just Thursday. On Thursday, I opened up a box in the warehouse and I found a pair of Sidney Crosby Rimouski Oceanic game used gloves.
Wow.
Untouched. And that's what happens with these boxes. I find a box that would say in the game or be a player action, and it was done in 1999, and there'd be 50 lunch bags in there, and some of them will be little tiny scraps because we had a small piece and used it all up in the card, but others would be a 2.5 by 3.5 piece that you can make 5 or 6 cards out of. And now that bag goes into a new file. We have a whole filing system now, and that's where we get some memorabilia. Very cool. That's the fun that I have. I have as much fun as you guys do, just in a different way.
Yeah, no kidding. You mentioned it a little while ago, just kind of the process of making cards in general, and also with this card. And you talked about specifically what that looks like in terms of memorabilia cards. Would you be able to kind of just explain that process, maybe starting with once the card is designed and then it goes to the proof?
Sure. We go to the design, and then it comes back to us, and we proof them all. And once they get proofed, they're really starting on the path to get completed, because then they go to the printer, and the printer also does the UV coating, and usually we UV coat them different thicknesses on the front and the back. But once that's out there, we're then doing the spacers. So what the spacer is really, if you talk about an Oreo cookie, the spacer is the white. The front of the card is one chocolate, and the back of the card is the other chocolate. So the spacer is the white, and the spacer gets die cut. Let's say for a 1/2 by 1/2 piece of memorabilia, it gets die cut by 3/4 by 3/4. Maybe 5/8, but I don't know. I don't do any of the cutting, but it's just a little bit bigger, so that when you then get the back from the printer, you laminate the back to the spacer. And now you've got almost like a frame with a border around it. And that's when you cut the memorabilia and you insert the memorabilia right in the middle of that space that you have. And then you laminate the front. Well, then you die cut the front. You die cut the front in the 1/2 by 1/2 holes. And then when you laminate the front over the back, you don't see any into the card, because it just covers exact memorabilia. Now, in days gone by, we didn't do that. And that's why you'd see sometimes on a thick piece of memorabilia, you'd see a bump on the front of the card, and you'd see, because it was pressed together by a machine, a roller, you'd see an indentation on the back of the card. Don't do that anymore. If we get a thick piece of memorabilia, we just build a thicker spacer. So it still sits right down into that hole, and then we still laminate the front of the card over top, so nothing bulges out. And even though some of the cards are thicker these days than they ever were, as you can tell by that one, I know you wanted me to measure, but I forgot to do it, and it got shipped to you already. You can measure it yourself now. But even on that one, you can see there's no. The front is just flat. It's perfectly flat, and there's no indentations in the back. And that's basically the process. We print 9 up. We used to print 100 up when we were doing complete sheets, but we print 9 up now. And the reason we print 9 up is so we can get things rolling quicker. So if I had to have your card on a 100 up sheet, I'd be waiting for 99 other cards to go on there. And who knows how long it would take. This way, if someone wanted to order 9 cards from me, then it wouldn't be 6 to 8 weeks. It'd be 2 to 4 weeks, because that sheet could just go right into the hopper. I'm not waiting for other cards to put on it. And that's about it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks
for sharing. Does that make sense? Okay,
yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And then, we kind of talked about the magnitude of a card like this and how scarce, this type of a combination is. And I know we've kind of talked about this in passing, but where would you say a card like this, if you can't even put a number on it, where it would rank among the cards that you've made in your career?
Wow. You know what? I wouldn't have thought twice about it, because that design to me is history. When I see them on eBay or I see them on Hobby Insider, I really enjoy seeing them. I usually comment about it. But once you wanted to do it and I got into it, I realized how special that design really, really was. So you've got a combination of, I'd say, one of my top 10 designs and one of my top 3 scarcities of memorabilia. And so where does that get you? I mean, it's got to be right up there. I mean, right now, Vezina stick and Vezina skate is right up there with Cyclone Taylor skate. That I don't have much of that left. And they're probably my top 2. There is one more. It'll come to me. I think it's Frank Patrick. I think I'm down to almost fumes on him as well. And we're actually going to be coming out probably in about 3 weeks with a set called Roots, and it's all vintage. But I've had to, even though I want to make them all out of 3, I've had to make some of them out of 1 and some of them out of 2, only because I don't want to be down to 0 memorabilia on anybody. But I'm pretty darn close.
Wow.
So it's the combination of what the design was and how important that design was in its day and who's on it. It gets you right up there, right near the top.
That's awesome.
And now what I've been doing now is on the boards or on eBay or even on Collect My Cards. I've been taking snapshots of what I think are the best group of cards that I ever made, and I've got about 100 of them in a file, and I'm still collecting those snapshots because I like to pick my own top 10 one day. But I'll tell you, the Vezina card that didn't have any other goalies on, just the Vezina, so was the last card in that set in 2000. I think that's still got to be my favorite because of the card, the design, the fact that, all the promotion and grief I had about cutting the pads and all that. So that's probably my top one. But I've just seen some great cards over the last little while that I've been taking these photos of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
maybe I'll have a contest one day on Hobby Insider for what other people think is their best card that I made. I can't say in the game because I think some of the President's Choice are great ones, and I think I like some of the ones I did with Sport Kings as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be a really cool idea for sure. Is there anything else that you'd want to say about the card, whether, just the card itself or the process about making it?
The process working with you was a pleasure. I know you thought you were bugging me a lot, but just explaining what we were doing and answering the questions. And I know that some of the questions, I think some of my answers were more difficult to understand than what the actual question was. But it was really hard to explain because to me it's just like second nature. I didn't understand what are you talking about? What are you worried about? but it's this is first of all, it's an expensive card for you. Mm-hmm. So I have to appreciate that. And it's an important card for you. And that's why it was important for us to do it as best we could and try to get absolutely everything you wanted out of the card. Now, Not too many people will send me a picture of the card front and back with notes on it. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But it was enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just for context, what Dr. Price is mentioning there is I kind of did like a little bit of a mock-up of what I wanted it to look like, taking a scan front and back of one of the original triple memorabilia cards and, saying, oh, change this and, make this look this way and, have this say this and things like that. And Dr. Price was very accommodating with all of that. And one thing we haven't mentioned yet, but instead of just printing his signature on the back, Dr. Price was gracious enough to actually sign the card himself. So it actually is not only a Vezina triple memorabilia card, but it's a Dr. Price autograph card as well.
Well, we're not sure of the value of that autograph, but I did sign it. And when, of course, I was very nervous doing it because if I blow it, I have to put a new back on the card, which I don't want to do. So I made sure I tried it. I tried it out on a couple backs of other old cards to make sure that the Sharpie was working properly, and we got it done.
That's awesome. Well, I think that's all I have to talk about with this one. Thank you so much for joining me, Dr. Price, and thank you so much for everything that went into this card. I know it was a big ask and a lot went into it, but I can't express how happy I am with it and just how grateful I am for all of your time and effort.
Eric, it was a pleasure, and thank you for having me on. I really enjoy it. Take care.
All right, and joining me now for real this time is my co-host Aaron Goldstein. I believe you're in a parking lot at Tim Hortons, correct?
I am. Pretty fitting, honestly.
Yes, it sure is, and we'll get to that later. But just to kind of wrap up this first segment, Aaron, I mean, you know as well as anyone that I've been hyping up this card for quite some time, and as I alluded to on Twitter earlier today, being Saturday, the only people that knew what this card is, were me and Dr. Price. So, you had no idea, what this is. I didn't tell you anything, so now the big day is finally here and you'll finally, get to know what it is and see it. Let me just ask you, if you could just take a shot in the dark, what do you think it is?
Oh man, that's a tough one, honestly. I was thinking about this earlier about like what could this card be, and honestly, I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. Like, you've hyped it up so well, but kept it such a secret. I honestly have no idea, because I was thinking of certain things, like maybe, like I know you have a couple of nice goalie pieces in your collection, kind of hidden away there. So maybe a nice vintage goalie thing going on, but honestly, I have no clue.
Cool. Yeah, honestly, it's been, I mean, and you know this, it's been extremely difficult to not say anything about it. There were certainly times where I was kind of just like, what's the big deal? I should just tell him. But now that we're here, I think it's pretty cool that, at this point, everyone else knows what it is. And, if you're watching on YouTube, you've seen a scan of it. But Aaron still doesn't know. So pretty cool that, you'll get to kind of get the same reaction to it that I got just a little while ago when I opened up the package with Dr. Price. So, yeah, I guess, we had talked a little while ago. You had mentioned the 0304 in the game used signature series triple memorabilia set that I put together. And you mentioned, I think you mentioned something about just wanting to talk about that set and kind of what that was like putting that together. Does that sound right?
Yeah, just more on like our set collector idea for an episode. We were kind of spitballing some ideas, and I just thought about how that 0304 set kind of spoke to you, and just because I know that you were really passionate about that set, especially when you finally put the final pieces together for that set. Like, I know how it was a really special set to you. So yeah, definitely, I know it's a big focal point of your collection for sure.
Yes, absolutely. And just to refresh your memory, this is what they look like. This is a double of the Alexis Yashin I have.
Oh yeah.
So just to refresh your memory there. So obviously, why would I be telling you this and showing you that? Well, you can probably put two and two together that it's in that same design. So I'm going to grab the card now and I will show it to you. Are you ready for this?
I don't think I am.
It's hard to be ready for this, honestly. So, all right. Well, I'll just start you off with a little bit of a teaser here.
Made to order triple, okay.
Yeah. And I know you will, of course, like this component of it.
Oh yeah, look at that. The signature on the back. That's a beautiful signature from one of the best in the hobby for sure. That's awesome. Great touch.
Absolutely. So do you want me to just kind of hit you with it, or keep giving you some teasers?
Just hit me with it. You know, you've shown out like enough of the card already. Just yeah, just whenever you're ready.
All right. Well, it's whenever you're ready.
All right.
All right. I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1, bam.
Yo. Oh, is that Vesna? Oh, that is Vesna. Wow. Wow. Oh, that fits perfectly with your set. Oh, I can't believe you did that. Like redid that design and everything.
Yep.
Oh, that is perfect. That is beyond perfect. Wow. So I guess I was kind of right, like a vintage goalie thing. Wow.
You sure were. Yep.
Oh, yeah, with the signature on the back. Oh, that is awesome. Is that the same? Like, I assume so. The same design they had on the original set.
Yeah, it's interesting when you go back and listen to the finished version of the podcast, you'll get to hear us talking about that. But
yeah, that's going to be interesting.
What happened is, obviously the original set and design is from 2003-04, and
right.
Dr. Price was telling us how things were just done a lot differently back then in terms of how things were designed and how designs were stored and everything. And early on in the process of making the card, when I first told him, hey, I think this is what I want to do, is this possible? He said, hey, let me look, let me see if I have access to the design still, because he has every design that he's ever done. But the thing is that the format that they're in is not, you can't just simply,
like, workable.
Right. You can't, it's not like they're on a flash drive and you just plug it into a computer. Right. They were on these really, and he talked about this, that just this really different and at this point kind of archaic storage system that just isn't really usable anymore. So even though he had the design, he pretty much had to have his designer just
redo it.
The design.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
can I see the card again?
Absolutely.
sorry. Let's see those pieces. So is that just, what kind of pieces are those? Are they all pad pieces, or let's see?
Nope. Well, that's the interesting thing. So you've got a pad piece in the bottom left.
Yep.
And then in the middle, you've got skate.
Yep.
And then you've got stick.
Oh, that's so cool.
So
that's awesome.
All three.
It follows the original style of the set. So yes. That's awesome. Especially with Vesna memorabilia being used, I think, in excess over the past couple of years. And of course the stuff that's already out there of him in the past. That is just such a iconic piece just in hockey history and just in hockey card history, if you will. So that is quite the piece, especially for someone that collected the set. And I believe you also got the Crosby as well, that wasn't part of the original set, but it followed that same design. And
Correct.
Then many years later, adding to the set again through the made to order program. So that is just phenomenal. I wasn't aware, and maybe this, like, I'll figure it out later from listening to the podcast, and and maybe this was just kind of a one-off, but I had no idea that he can kind of reuse his old designs from that far back, and that just, it speaks to his level of customer service, but it also just speaks to someone like from yourself, Eric, just ordering that card for your set. It just really, it speaks to your level of love for this set, and also Dr. Price's ability to go above and beyond for you. So it really just, it's a stunning card, and it just fits your collection perfectly. And yeah, that's there's no such thing as a perfect card, but I mean, that's pretty much a perfect card. It belongs in that collection perfectly. So that is honestly the perfect order ever. And the signature on the back too. Oh man, just gets me.
Yeah, we were joking about that. We said, yeah, this is a Vesna triple memorabilia, but it's also a Dr. Price autograph card.
I mean, yeah, it definitely speaks for itself. So that is phenomenal. I mean, that card will definitely be cherished by yourself for a long time.
Yes, without a doubt. Unquestionably right up there in my collection. Obviously, in terms of, uniqueness and just what the actual card is, I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that it's, as good as it gets. Is it the most valuable card I own? Probably not, but
it's up there though.
Who cares about value when it's something like that? So yeah, obviously, and we talked about this a little bit. We didn't say an exact amount that it cost, but obviously it was not cheap to do something.
No, it's especially in the ways that he went above and beyond. I can imagine, but I mean, hey, it further completes your set, shall we say, and it's a great piece for any collection. So definitely well worth it. So that's awesome. That's just awesome.
Yeah, it was just breathtaking to open the package and finally see it, after envisioning that card. And I knew as soon as I came up with the idea that it was going to be that photo and everything. So I always had an idea of what it was going to look like, but actually being able to see it and hold it in my hands was just a total wow moment. And I mean, this is just as good as it gets, really. So yeah, it's hard to believe that this card even exists and that I'm lucky enough to own it. So
that's awesome. It's going to be quite the moment when you finally, because I know you just received it and you just opened it, but it's going to be quite the moment when you can finally fully, join your set with this new edition, finally bring it home, so to speak. So it's going to be quite the moment there, officially adding it to your collection among the other cards from 0304. So that's awesome. I mean, I'm just about speechless right now. Like, there's not much more I can say about the card. I'll probably rant and rave about it after we're done here, but that's just, it's an incredible piece and it's going to an incredible home, and that's all about I could say about it right now.
Would you say my hype for it was justified?
Honestly, I think you should have done more hyping. Like it was like it really stole the show. It really, like, I knew it was going to be sick, but I didn't know it was going to be one that sick of a card, but one that's going to fit your collection that much more. Because we all could order a crazy McDavid patch, for example, but I mean, who could really say that this made-to-order card truly fits their collection? Not many. They're all spectacular cards, but this one really, really, again, hits home for you. So that's awesome.
All right. So transitioning from George Vezina to kind of the hottest prospect in the sport right now, there's been a lot of talk about Alexis Lafreniere and his rookie cards for this upcoming year and what that's going to look like. And people arguing back and forth, is he going to be an Upper Deck Series 1? If he is he going to have a Young Gun? What's this all going to look like? Well, we finally have an official answer, as earlier this week, Upper Deck released the checklist for 2020-21 Upper Deck Series 1. And like I said, as was highly anticipated and debated, after seeing the checklist, Alexis Lafreniere will indeed have a Young Gun rookie card in the product. And one thing that's also kind of interesting to note with that is oftentimes, well, pretty much almost always how it happens is for a big name rookie card like that, the Young Gun will be in Series 1, and then the canvas version of the Young Gun will be in Series 2. Well, instead, Upper Deck's doubling down on it, and the canvas Young Gun will be in Series 1 as well. And I think that can largely be attributed to just the fact that there aren't as many rookies available for use, as there might normally be. So I'm pretty sure almost every single player on the Young Gun checklist also has a Young Gun canvas card in Upper Deck Series 1 this year. So that's not something you usually see, but that's kind of how it's going to be this year. So Lafreniere will have both the base Young Gun and the canvas Young Gun as well, both within Series 1. And just kind of looking at that, I think it definitely makes sense for him to be included in the product, especially as, just having that base Young Gun, as a card like that really just sells the product by itself. That'll be a big time card that easily is going to pay for a box and, is going to get you well on your way if you open a case. So just having a card of that magnitude within that product really is what puts a product like that over the top. And as far as, what that card will look like, obviously we don't know yet because there haven't been any mock-up images of the card or anything yet, though I'm sure we'll see them pretty shortly as Upper Deck 1 is scheduled to come out this upcoming week. But there's been a lot of talk about that, what's it going to be, because he hasn't played an NHL game yet. So One thing that some people are certainly aware of and other people are not aware of is Upper Deck actually did conduct an on-ice photo shoot with Lafreniere last month. So I would say the odds are pretty good that the Young Gun photo is probably going to come from that, and potentially the Young Gun canvas photo as well. I mean, it's impossible to say at this point, but I would think it's probably a pretty safe bet that at least one of those cards will feature a photo from that photo shoot last month. So just something to keep in mind. And yeah, happy Lafreniere Young Gun hunting. Whether you're opening Upper Deck 1 on release day or after the fact, that'll definitely be a card that everyone is looking for. So if you guys are opening packs or boxes or cases, best of luck to you, and hopefully you hit at least one Lafreniere Young Gun. So speaking of opening new products, a lot of you are probably aware that 2021 Upper Deck Tim Hortons just came out. And so, of course, we have to bring in our resident Canadian here in Aaron in order to give us the full rundown of Tim Hortons, as well as just bust open some packs. So, Aaron, take it away with some good old Timmy's cardboard.
Yeah, good old Timmy's cardboard. It doesn't get any more Canadian than this. Having some Tim Hortons and opening up some hockey cards. I love this partnership. I mean, if anyone remembers, the old McDonald's hockey cards were like the bee's knees growing up. So I think a Tim Hortons partnership with Upper Deck was just, another match made in heaven, I think. So when they started this a couple of years ago, I was all on board, as was everybody else of all ages. So, I mean, just a fantastic product every year. I love it. And I'm sure many others do too. So we actually have 20 packs of Tim Hortons, and we're just going to rip them open and see what we get. Always fun to bust open some packs. I don't do it often, to be honest with you, but when I do, it's always pretty fun. So we're definitely going to do that. But just a quick run of the product. For those who are kind of new to the hobby, we know we have a lot of those types of collectors who are listening. So we're just going to give you a quick rundown of these Tim Hortons cards. For those who aren't aware, you pick these cards up at your local Tim Hortons. That seems pretty obvious. And this new release, 2021 Tim Hortons, released on Thursday, November 12th. Same as always, 3 cards per pack, and there's 100 packs per box. The thing about the boxes is, yes, they do come in boxes. It's not your traditional, hobby box or something like that. It's just kind of like a shipping box. They're not really meant to sell in a box form, which is why it doesn't really get that attention. But yes, you can buy it in box form if you like. And if they have the full box available, it will be 100 packs. And as far as the pack breakdown goes, you get 2 base cards and 1 insert on average. The first pack is $1 when you buy it with your coffee, your tea or whatever else you're having. And then after that, every additional pack will be $1.99 Canadian. So a pretty friendly price point. I mean, it does get up there when you multiply it by 20 packs, obviously. But I mean, for a cheap rip for, a young kid who's getting some Tim Hortons, it's honestly not a bad try. So, I mean, it's a good entry-level product for anyone new to the hobby or even experienced collectors as well. Definitely have a blast with this stuff. So yeah, it's only at Tim Hortons location in Canada. I know last year they did do an American release for some of their Tim Hortons out there. It was a team-based release, so a couple teams did get their own Tim Hortons versions. But for us here in Canada, the main release is just in Canada. So I definitely feel for you guys in the States who have to kind of look out for the fall and see us Canadians ripping into, hockey cards at our local Tim Hortons. It must be kind of something. I mean, yeah, so it's quite fortunate to have a product like this. And I think, again, it's really important for the hobby. So without that, we're just going to take you through the returning staple content. For those who are familiar with the product, the famous red die cut parallels are back. I love those cards. The Tim Horton is not a short print. Last year it was, so this year it just the same as the other die cut parallels. The gold etchings are back, the clear cut phenoms, and the autographed and jersey cards are there as well. For those who are looking at maybe the secondary market and seeing these autograph and jersey cards and seeing why they generate the prices they do, is because this is a national release, and it is so available to young kids. A lot of these cards don't get redeemed, or even if they do, a kid is just going to keep this card. So a lot do, but a lot also don't really make it to the secondary market. So of course they do generate quite the interest from season collectors, and that's part of the reason why you do see the prices go for quite a bit of money, especially with set collectors. So those are definitely going to be a big chase, and I hope I hit one today. And the new stuff in this year is the Cup Winners inserts. So that's always really cool to see a player hoist the cup. You have you also have the Franchise Trios 3D inserts, the NHL Canvas cards, which are really sweet. And another big chase card is the super rare Wayne Gretzky tribute insert, which is, get this, 1 in 12,000 packs. So for every 12,000 packs that are opened across the country, you're going to get one Wayne Gretzky card. So definitely a really big chase card. And I haven't seen any yet, so I have no idea what they look like, but I'm hoping I'll hit one today and I can show you guys. So without further ado, I will rip open to these packs. I have them here beside me. I'm hoping it's not too crinkly as I open these packs, but we'll see what happens. So this is it, pack number 1.
I call dibs on the Blackhawks stuff.
Yeah. A couple people were asking me yesterday when I posted it up on social media. So I kind of feel like a breaker, man. I should have had the webcam going tonight, but no dice. All right, so pack number 1. I'm not going to announce the base. I'm just going to go through the main hits. So if anyone needs a base card for their set, just let me know, and I'm sure we can work out a quick trade. So I'm just going to announce the hits. So hit number 1. Oh, man, these are really nice cards. We have a Cup Winners of, not a bad way to start. Alexander Ovechkin. Quite an awesome card.
Very nice.
Of him hoisting the cup. These cards are amazing. I'll get a better look at them later, and I'll also I'll share these with you guys as well. So, yeah, what a nice way to start. And those cards are amazing. So I know there is a lot of attention on these cards because, 1, they're awesome, and 2, a lot of people go after the set, and I think this is not fully across the board, but I think this is honestly one of the last achievable sets, honestly. Like, when you look at the stuff out there today, it really is hard to complete a set. And people look at Tim Hortons like, oh man, I could actually maybe complete this set. Of course, you have the jerseys and autographs, but I mean, for the most part, this set is pretty doable, and it's a blast to collect. So I've never opened this many packs at one time of Tim Hortons, so hopefully the odds are in my favor. All right, so pack 2. Oh, man, this is perfect. I might end up keeping this one. Man, this is quite the card. We have a red
Fleury.
Well, no, I wish. I was just about to say, if I hit the Fleury base card or the Fleury red die cut, I'm keeping those for my collection, my Fleury collection. But this might just be another one that I add to my goalie collection. It is a red die cut parallel of Carter Hart.
Very nice.
So I know that is amazing. I looked through the checklist briefly, honestly, just to see what the main chase cards were and to see if Fleury was in any of the sets. But I didn't really take a look at the base set too much. So that was quite a surprise pulling a Hart there. So that might stay in the collection, in my goalie collection. We shall see. But because I know someone was asking about Flyers as well. So we'll see what happens. All right, so pack 3. Really good start so far. And I don't really know the odds on these things either. I mean, I do, but not really. I
can look them up
later.
I've got the checklist pulled up. So
yeah, so that's not bad. Awesome.
The red are 1 in 4,
okay,
and the Cup Winners are 1 in 6.
Not bad. What about the NHL Canvas cards?
Let's see. The Canvas cards are 1 in 9.
Okay, nice. So I should get about maybe 2 of these. So I just had my first one here. NHL Canvas. These are beautiful cards. Oh, wow. You have that classic, canvas finish they have. Not so pronounced like on their, Upper Deck Series 1 or 2 canvas cards, but in their own way, they are fantastic. Oh, man, these are really nice cards. Of Austin Matthews.
Nice.
So I know. So not a bad start here. We got Ovechkin Cup Winners, Carter Hart, red die cut, and we have the Austin Matthews canvas cards. That's awesome. These canvas are really nice. I'm hoping to hit the Carey Price as well. I think he's in the canvas set, so him as well I'm looking for. So we'll see what happens. Pack number 4. And I really hope the crinkling isn't too annoying for all the listeners. I apologize if it is.
No, it's great. It's a nostalgic sound.
For you it is. For some other people it's like, We'll see what happens. All right, so next pack here. Oh, Eric, you're going to love this. We have a franchise trios. These are fantastic. Of Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, and Alex DeBrincat. So
let's go.
Franchise trios, Chicago Blackhawks cards of those 3 guys. Those are, I think you're going to love these cards, Eric. Fantastic. So let's go.
Those are pretty scarce. I mean,
they are.
Compared to other inserts, they're kind of scarce being at 1 in 24. So
yeah, so I just beat the odds on that. Wasn't guaranteed any, and I got one. So yeah, this has been amazing pack breaks so far.
And you got the Blackhawks. You didn't just get.
And I got the Blackhawks, so I don't get to keep it. I have to give it to you now. So I'm sure I'll accumulate a couple more Blackhawks cards, and we can make a nice little deal here.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, not worried about that. All right, next pack. All right, here we go. My kind of pack right here. Another NHL canvas cards of Mitch Marner. So that's awesome. Got the big guys right here. So Mitch Marner canvas goes nicely with the Austin Matthews canvas as well. For those who don't know, I am a big Leafs fan. Grew up in the Toronto area, born in Toronto. So yeah, pretty happy with those guys. It's always nice seeing those kind of guys in a pack break. So the Marner I might keep. We'll see what happens. That's a pretty nice card.
That's the 2 Leafs on that checklist. So.
Oh, nice. Okay, perfect. So this was made for me.
Yep.
So perfect. All right. So next pack. All right. Awesome. Not as good as a Leaf fan. Not as nice. But we have a red die cut. I'm going to move along this really quickly. Of Brad Marchand. So yeah, I'm just going to put that one in the back of the pack. He's a good player. I respect him so much. But obviously a Boston card. So we're just going to put that away. And we're going to accidentally lose that one. So we'll see what happens. Not much to say about that pack. We're just going to move along. But no, those red die cuts are fantastic. Yeah, so no matter the player, you got to respect the card. I think that's the main thing. So, and same goes for player collecting. If you collect a player I hate, that's all right. But as long as your player collection is solid, I respect it. All right, next pack. All right, nice. We got a standouts card of Leon Draisaitl, the All-Star one. So those are really nice, actually.
Very nice. Those are 1 in 5.
Okay, cool. So right on average about. So I believe this is my 6th pack. So yeah, nice cards. Very, very nice cards. Yeah, these cards are really well done. I know we're supposed to go through the pros and cons afterwards, but I'll just do it during. The pros are these cards look fantastic. They're really good bang for your buck. I mean, you're obviously not going to hit a jersey or autograph card every break, but still amazing cards, fantastic for the hobby. I said this before on our episode about getting kids in the hobby. I think it's your duty. If you own the official license to print NHL cards, I think it's your duty to get a cost-efficient product out on the market. I think you have to do that. I don't think it's written in their agreement, but I think it should be, because these products like these are fantastic for the hobby. And I hope they keep on going. I mentioned this on the forum, I believe this week, but this product was kind of up in the air for 2021 because once they finished with 1920 last year, I believe that was the last year of their deal of Tim Hortons and Upper Deck. So to my knowledge, that was it until they signed a new deal. So obviously the announcement of 2021 Tim Hortons kind of caught everyone off guard. It was kind of expected, but also, again, up in the air of will this thing happen? And I'm so glad it did. So I could be very wrong, but this could signal, again, a new deal with Tim Hortons and Upper Deck. So I'm hoping that is the case, and this isn't the last year. But again, I'm hoping these continue for many, many years, because I can't say how good these are for the hobby. So anyway, next pack. All right, not bad. Another Boston card, but these cup winner cards are really sweet. So we have a cup winners of Patrice Bergeron. So not bad. These cards are really nice. Again, it's Boston, so I don't really know how to feel about that. Also hit a Tuukka Rask card as well. So not bad. But again, not great because Boston. But I definitely respect these cards. And if you need any of these for your set, definitely let me know. All right, next pack. All right, another red die cut. That's sharp from a new Stanley Cup champ. We have a red die cut base of Nikita Kucherov. So that is amazing. I love these die cut cards.
Yeah,
really, really sweet.
Really sharp.
Have you picked one up from last year, Eric?
I haven't, but I just from seeing scans and video of them, they just look amazing.
Oh yeah, they're great. The corners are slightly, for those who don't know, the corners are slightly curved. So not too much of a die cut, like nothing too fancy, but the corners are just rounded. But just the red, they really pop. They really remind me of the UD Stature red parallels that they came out this year.
Yes.
Not quite the same. I think the Statures definitely have a little bit more pop. But again, for a small time product like Tim Hortons, I mean, these cards are, again, for your money, just fantastic and readily available for all. So last year I picked up a very red base card for my collection. I knew I just had to get one, and I didn't hit anything during my break. So I just went on the secondary market, just went on eBay and quickly picked one up. Fantastic card. I definitely want to actually display that since I'm starting to display a couple more of my cards. Low-end cards, but still, you know. So hopefully I hit one here, but we'll see what happens. Otherwise, I'll be on the lookout for one if any of you guys have it for trade. All right, next pack. I feel like a group breaker. Geez, I haven't done this much breaking like live at all. All right, this one's a nice one. Pretty, fitting for those who know me a little bit better. But we have an NHL standouts card of Matthew Tkachuk. So definitely, all the Flames fans out there are loving these cards. So, man, I love these cards. These are really nice. The All-Star logo is blue, and same with the Upper Deck logo. It's definitely some nice attention to detail on these cards. Very, very nice. So put that back in there. Yep, all you Flames fans out there, if you need that card for your collection, let me know, and we'll see what we can do. And I'll definitely show these pickups on the forums and all that for sure. I think I'm at the halfway mark right now, just about. All right, next pack. Oh, finally, one of the gold etchings cards. These are really nice. Gold etchings of Ryan O'Reilly. These cards are fantastic. I kind of wish, when I saw these gold etchings cards the first time around, I loved them so much. I wish that Upper Deck had these cards as like a chase card, like maybe part of a redemption program, about kind of kicking it old school and having those old kind of 24 karat gold cards they used to do in the 90s, where they would actually have kind of gold plated cards. I'm not sure how they did them, but in the 90s they did have kind of cards like that. So those were awesome. And these gold etchings cards they look so nice. They're just begging to be made from actual gold. Like, that's how nice they are. Or maybe in a premium product, just amazing cards. Like, they definitely seem like they're not above this release, but just a card you'd find in another product. Like, they're that good. And I'm glad they're back again this year. So just hit one of those.
And those are 1 in 8 packs.
1 in 8. So I think I'm doing pretty good for the odds. Only 20 packs. So, I mean, some big names here. I mean, obviously in a smaller product, it's going to be jam-packed with good names. But still, I mean, got some nice ones here for sure. Definitely happy with my break so far. All right, another red die cut here. These are really nice. A red die cut of Washington Capitals' very own John Carlson. So again, these are really nice. I can't wait to, look at these cards later and really kind of take them in. I'm just kind of blowing through these packs, but oh man, these are awesome. Very, very cool.
I love, especially with cards like that, when you get someone like a Carlson where the red really matches well with the jersey.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, it really just pops with the jersey. So these cards are definitely awesome. Cannot complain at all. Oh, nice. Okay, so I did get, this isn't my hit, but I got the Tim Hortons base card. So that's pretty cool. I might keep that. That's nice.
You have to keep it.
Oh, of course. It's still Canadian, right? Awesome. So the hit for this pack is the All-Star Standouts of David Pastrnak. So definitely, again, these cards are awesome, showing in the All-Star jerseys. Very nice. Honestly, for me, the Tim Hortons base card is the hit of the pack for me. That's awesome. I did not hit one last year, so I always thought they were really cool. So that's awesome. That Tim Hortons card makes it for me right now. So that's awesome. All right, put that back in the pack. I'm just kind of putting them back in the pack here, but yeah, we'll take them out later. All right, so 7 packs left. All right, so definitely over the halfway mark. I think I've been doing pretty good so far, beating the odds, so I'm always a fan of that.
You got to get a clear-cut phenom still.
True. Yeah, good point.
And those things are beautiful this year.
They are. Yeah, I've seen some scans and stuff, and I've never hit those in any of my previous breaks of Tim's, to my knowledge, so it would be nice to actually hit one. So that's awesome. Okay, so we'll see what I get on this pack. Watch you call it. Probably going to hit a phenom.
Well, they're 1 in 12, so you should get at least one.
Hopefully. We shall see. Nope, another die cut. And another Tim Hortons base card. Not bad. They got the same base as last time. That's all right. I'm happy with this red die cut. Red die cut parallel of John Tavares. So definitely as a Leaf fan, very cool.
There you go.
Nice Leaf hits for sure. So I'm happy. Anytime we can hit a Leaf card. I don't collect the Leafs or anything like that, but just I have a couple cards of them. Some nice ones. So we'll see if I hit any more. For those who are, big breakers or anything like that, if you saw the way I was opening these packs, you would scream. Not the nicest, but just trying to get it done. Another standouts card. All right. Of Patrick Kane, Eric.
There we go.
This one's for you. Awesome. These are nice cards. I kind of forget to check the back base cards. So, I could be, looking at a flurry for my collection and not even know it. So I'll definitely have to go through these more after. All right, down to the final 5 packs we have here. Yep, final 5. All right. I hope I hit the Gretzky or something. That'd be so sick. I know there's a couple other chase cards, but the Gretzky is one that I haven't seen yet, so that would be amazing to hit. All right. Oh, nice. We have a clear-cut card. Very cool. Oh, that's so cool, and he's quite the guy to hit, too, especially this year. So they have a clear-cut phenoms. Man, these are amazing. Huh, these are so cool. I kind of want to keep this, but I know someone else could use it more than I could. Clear-cut phenoms of Cale Makar.
Ooh.
So that is the one to hit. So, oh man, these are really nice.
They kind of
really, really nice.
I heard someone talking about this, and I thought the same thing. They kind of remind me in a way of the 2008-09 Young Gun design.
They do. Yeah, I was just about to say Young Guns.
And then crossed over with, if you guys are familiar with the Tricksters cards from last year's Upper Deck Series 2, they have like that kind of ice blue acetate cutouts on the side. So it's
right.
Those two cards came together and had a baby, and the clear-cut phenoms for this year were born. But they're really nice-looking cards.
Yeah, again, for those who are unfamiliar with Tim's, if you think it's just kind of a low-end product, like, oh, it's like OPG, the simpler kind of cards. No, these cards are really well thought out. And again, for this type of release, it's dubbed a promotional release. But for this type of release, these kinds of cards are really, really good and definitely well thought out. And again, because it's such a small release, the checklist is just jam-packed with some great cards. And like I said off the top, really good for set collectors, because those are kind of falling to the wayside a little bit in today's modern hobby. But again, if you're a set collector, this is definitely the set for you. Aside from the jersey and the autograph cards, there's still a lot to chase, and it's still a fairly big set. So definitely a lot of fun for those set collectors.
One last thing about that Makar too, kind of funny, on the checklist, it's sandwiched right between Marner and Matthews.
Oh, nice. Okay, perfect. So that's, a little Leaf sandwich there, sort of. Oh, nice. Another good one. Okay, so we have an NHL canvas card of, again, beautiful with a nice colorful background there. That's really nice. Of Patrick Kane.
Let's go.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Really, really nice card with the Chicago Blackhawks logo in the back. Just amazing. he's standing there with his puck. I'm not sure what milestone he hit there, but I'm sure Eric, you would know as soon as you see the photo.
Probably 1,000 points is my guess.
Probably, yeah. The number looked pretty long, so that is quite the card. I'm just gonna save that one for you. Yeah, some amazing cards in here. I'm loving it. I mean, unfortunately, like I kind of know that these cards will be picked over, so I can't really enjoy them too much. But there's definitely going to be one or two that I keep from this for sure, and the rest is available. Oh, nice. Another Cup winners cards. We have Anze Kopitar. These Cup winners are awesome cards. Love that.
They have foil on the sides, right?
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, the whole thing is, yeah, fantastic. Really like these cards. They're nice. I'm kind of hoping, next year or two, like maybe we'll have a Cup winners card of some Leaf players. It's kind of like a pipe dream, but you know what? If they do, I'm going to collect the whole set.
There you go.
And love every minute of it.
Would you do the Day with the Cup set?
I mean, they're really expensive, so probably not. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I mean, just what a Leafs win would do for the hobby would be just insane. I mean, I think just thinking about it would be amazing.
Yeah, you'll never have to answer that question though. So
no, I won't. But it's just fun to dream. Okay, we have a base card, Jordan Binnington base. Very nice. And one of the best. We have an NHL canvas card of the great one, Connor McDavid. Very nice. So, yeah. Oh man, that's awesome.
Nice.
I actually saw one of his jerseys today. Was looking to buy it, but that's another story. Yeah, awesome canvas card of one of the best in the game right now. Obviously, Connor McDavid. Sick.
You were telling me that you and your dad were scouting Connor McDavid when he was a little kid.
Yeah, we. I'm not going to divulge too much information on this story, but yeah, we saw. Like obviously, I'm from the Toronto area, and McDavid played in the GTHL growing up. So we saw McDavid play when he was like, like 14 years old, something like that. And we were sitting in the crowd and just and watching one of his games, and we were there for someone else, but seeing this kid, skate around the ice, we were kind of like, whoa, who's that kid? And then we got explained at the time, like, oh, that's Connor, and he's some younger kid. He's playing with the older guys, and yeah, they say he's gonna get the special status and get into the OHL earlier, and we all know how that turned out. But yeah, he was a really good player, and yeah, we saw him when he was a little kid, so it's obviously really cool to see him, achieve what he's achieved, and hopefully he can win a cup one day. But yeah, great player, obviously, and yeah, it was cool to see that development, and it kind of makes me feel old. But anyway, we are on our last pack, for those counting, last pack of 2020-2021 Upper Deck Tim Hortons.
Last pack mojo?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, my bake's been pretty good. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't know if you can tell if you've hit a redemption or not. I don't think so. So these have been pretty secretive packs. You don't really know what's going to come out of them. I believe the redemptions, they're not like in your typical packs. They're kind of like really small and really thin, and they would mimic a normal card. So I don't think there'd be any way of telling what we've got. And no flurry yet, by the way. So it's quite unfortunate. But hopefully we hit them here. All right. So last pack. All right, cool. I'm happy with that. We have a red die cut parallel of Erik Karlsson. So another awesome red die cut. Love these cards. Pretty much have the whole set right about now. But no, that's an awesome hit to end things off. Awesome. Sharks jersey just pops off these red cards. Very, very cool. So that's all my cards. That's all my hits. For those who want to recap, I'll be posting them up on my blog. I'll be posting them up on the forums and all that good stuff. We'll be taking pictures of these hits and post them up for you guys. So if you guys need to know what I hit, just let me know. And if you need any for your set or any of the base cards, just let me know. And yeah, I'll get those out to you. I'm sure we can make a small trade, or if you have the red die cut card of Fleury or even just a base card, just throw that in. That would be awesome. That would make my day. But yeah, awesome run of Tim Hortons again. I'm so glad they're back. Yeah, just incredible cards for what you get, for your money, and some amazing chase cards in this product. Didn't hit anything today, but again, it's a set collector's dream. Honestly, if you're a guy who's just a fan of just awesome looking cards and, just jam-packed full of, superstars, this is definitely the product for you. And it's so readily available. You don't have to go to your local card shop, or you don't have to order it online. You literally go to your nearest Tim Hortons and that's it, and it's all there. I'm not sure about the stock about each store, but I'm sure they'll just run out and that's all you get. But there's Tim Hortons everywhere. So there's definitely no shortage of access to these cards. So amazing product. I can't think of any downsides other than I didn't hit a Gretzky, but amazing product and some great cards. So can't complain.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you said it well yourself that, that was a pretty decent break, given that you didn't hit anything massive, but that's something to keep in mind too. If you guys are going out and, getting packs of Tim Hortons, if you're so lucky enough to live in the Great White North and be able to do that, don't be expecting to be pulling those big money redemption cards and the rare Gretzky cards and things like that, because, while you can, and while somebody has to pull them, the odds of doing that are extremely slim, just because of how much of, the product is made. The odds of you getting something like that is pretty slim. So, given that, the value and the quality throughout the product is extremely good, as I think you guys probably got a pretty good idea of, in Aaron's 20 packs, getting some very nice cards. And like he said, the quality of the cards themselves are just very, very good. They're very well done. For me, the biggest pros, as far as specific insert sets, would be those red die cuts, the clear cut phenoms. And I really like the addition of the canvas cards. I think that's just a really nice touch. And, it's just a cool way to add something that, is a pretty, widespread appeal kind of card. So I think that was a really nice addition, and there's, other really nice cards too, like those gold etchings and the 3D cards and all that. So yeah, I like you said, I really can't think of any cons. It's just a slam dunk product every single year. The quality is great. The price point is perfect. And it's a great product year in and year out. And this year's no different.
I definitely agree. Well said. I'm hoping it continues for another couple of years. I'm hoping this is the start of a brand new agreement between Upper Deck and Tim Hortons. And this continues on, like I said, for a couple more years. So the kids can really get their foot in the door when it comes to the hobby. And at this point in the game, if you're just starting out, it doesn't really matter what you hit. It doesn't matter the value of these cards. It just matters that there's cards available to you, and you're able to kind of figure out what you like and what you don't like in this hobby. And, if you're a set collector, awesome. If you're a player collector, I'm really glad they added those base parallels to kind of get one or more cards of your guy. So definitely something for everybody in this product, young and old. So it's going to be amazing to see them keep this up, hopefully. Like along with their other retail offerings, like the Canadian Tire set that we see, for the last couple of years, like those have been amazing as well. So definitely no shortage of retail offerings, in that sense. So I'm hoping they keep that going. Like I said, I think, if you're Upper Deck, I think it's your duty to kind of keep offering these types of products to the general public, because yes, a lot of adults will, you hear those stories about those adults that do scoop in and buy out everything you have, which is unfortunate, I think. But I think the ones that do benefit the most are, the kids who get to finally enter this hobby that to some maybe had like a small introduction to it, and this really ramps it up for them, or maybe some who have never collected cards in their life. I think, again, this product gives them something to look forward to every year, and it gives them a nice start with, collecting cards and in a really nice, healthy way. All right. So with that all being said, we just have some questions for you guys, just what your thoughts are about the 2021 Tim Hortons cards. What do you like or dislike about the product? Have you opened any yet yourself, or are you looking to pick up some packs from your local Tim Hortons? Do you have any predictions for the value of the Lafreniere Young Guns debuting very soon? And you know what, why not just throw in your predictions about the Canvas Young Gun as well? Is Eric's card that he got today the greatest card in the entire hobby ever? Like, that card was fantastic. So we definitely want to see your thoughts on pretty much the greatest card ever made. And, you know, we're just going to post these cards up on social media as always. And we definitely love to hear your thoughts.
I kind of, you know, added that question kind of as a joke, but, you know, because of course, is it the most valuable card ever? No, of course not. Is it, you know, the wildest thing you could possibly dream of? No. But, you know, just thinking about, you know, kind of what the card is and the significance of, you know, having 3 different kinds of memorabilia of his all on one card and having it done in a, you know, a pretty iconic design, you know, is a pretty special thing. So, you know, if you guys happen to think it's the greatest card ever made, I'd love to hear that. You know, as Dr. Price and I were saying, obviously it wasn't cheap to make that card, but, you know, and obviously it's not about the money, obviously. I just wanted something like that as a cornerstone for my collection. So yeah, you know, if you think it's the greatest hockey card ever made, that's awesome. But, you know, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you don't think so, because I know that there are hundreds, if not thousands of other cards that are, you know, every bit as special to certain people. And, you know, feel free to share some of those special and cool cards that either you have or you've seen, or that, you know, you want to add to your collection one day. You know, just kind of be able to share some cool stuff like that on social media, and love to hear your thoughts on things like that and on those other questions as well. So that'll wrap it up for episode 19. Please be sure to follow us on social media. We can be found on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Sunrise Cardcast, and on Twitter at Sunrise CC. Please also be sure to subscribe to the show on your podcast platform of choice to make sure you never miss a future episode. Until next time on Sunrise Cardcast, keep collecting those hockey cards.